healings, all the great healing ministries rolls up there and down. And when I first became a minister, I begrudged the fact that I wasn't in that time, see, wasn't in that move. And yet it says here that God is faithful through all generations, amen? And sometimes we're always looking back when we need to be thankful for what we have today. This Thursday, across America, families will gather. Turkey will be served in our household. It'll be fried turkey with all the dressing and the cranberries and all the fixings that go with that. And we're having family in. It'll be a great time. We're excited about that. But most will really not really understand the true meaning of Thanksgiving or what they are thankful for, except that it's a day off. And more than that, man, the kids get the whole week off. You know, I tell them the kids are really blessed. They get the whole week off, you know. In fact, in schools today, our kids are not taught the meaning of Thanksgiving because of separation of church and state. So we don't therefore go and teach on that or what it actually means. I read a quote the other day, and I love this quote of President Woodrow Wilson. He said, "A nation which does not remember what it was yesterday does not know what it is today." Think about that, or what it is even trying to do. We are not trying to do a futile thing if we do not know where we came from or what we've been about. And I think sometimes in America, I think we've lost or forgotten our identity. There is an identity crisis in America today, and that identity has to do with Jesus Christ. We are a Christian nation. I don't care who stands up and what place they stand up and say it, that this is not a Christian nation, but this nation was founded by people who came for religious freedom to be able to worship the Lord. As a matter of fact, if you go all the way back to 1621 at the first Thanksgiving, there were 90 Indians and 50 white people there, okay? But they were giving thanksgiving for what God had done. Most of all, that they had a place that they could openly worship God. You know, are you thankful for that? Are you thinking, I saw the street across from a school, but the kids didn't have to come and take the Bible from you. You can't give it to them. They have to come and take that. See, we have forgotten in America really what we are about. This nation was founded on thankfulness, amen, of giving a place to freedom of worship. And this is the thing that we have the most, have lost our identity crisis over. I know the answer. I know why America, and today, if you look at America, somebody asked me one time, why are we always helping everybody else? Because that's our foundation. We are thankful people, and thankful people reach out to other people. America helps nations all over the world. We give billions of dollars away all over the world, sometimes even to our own enemies, you know, and we give money away to help people because of the kindness or the goodness of people's heart. When there's a flood, when there's a hurricane, what happens? People come in, neighbors go out, they get their chainsaws, go cut trees and help people. The floods that we had here in Central Texas, you saw really what I think is the foundation of our country. Americans, they are generally in the whole very giving people. And the reason that is because I believe the foundation of Christ in our life. But I ask myself, why does gratitude matter so much? Why is it that way? Well, then I asked my wife this morning. I woke up this morning at 5 o'clock and my message is on my brain. I said, Lord, can I sleep another hour, you know? And then I'll get up. And no, I have my message on my phone. So I wake up and I flip over there. And this question is coming in my mind is, how much is enough? And so I went in to see Pastor Marcia and I said, Pastor Marcia, how much is enough? I don't call her Pastor Marcia. No, I don't. I call her Marsh most of the time. That's what my mom called her, Marsh. She didn't know she had an A on the end of her name, you know. But I said, how much is enough? Because we are consumers of lots and lots and lots of things. Where is ever a time in our life when we feel content with what we have. Did you know that the average person in America, this is average, okay, has over 300,000 things that are theirs in your household? We have more because I think we're about 450. Because I have out in my, I have 3 filing cabinets. Cell phones, we're all about getting things. The average person has over 144 pieces of clothing. That's why most of us guys, we're relegated to the extra bedroom closet. It's smaller, you know. How many, I told my wife, I said, I'm looking at my jeans here. I've got this many jeans. And you know what the funny part is? I wear the same 3 pair of jeans every week. We want more. We want more. What should I get you? I don't want anything. Oh, come on. No, I don't want anything. I have things. When is it enough? When is it that we come to the place in our life and we say, okay, you know, I'm good, Lord. I don't need anything else. In the natural, on gratitude, I could ask, it works by releasing happy hormones. I didn't know there were those things. Like means grace or graciousness or gratefulness, depending on the context. And in some way, gratitude encompasses all of those things in our lives. My dad, I remember my dad was not a Christian. No thank you. If you were not grateful when he got you home, you were grateful if he didn't remember. Yeah, because he would tell you. I remember teachers saying to Mr. and Ms. Moran, I love your children. They are so polite. They appreciate everything that we do for them. When was the last time you had someone come to you and say, hey, I appreciate what you do for me? In our own families, how grateful or appreciative are we of each other? You know, I love to do this with my wife. My wife is just good. Every once in a while, not as often as she used to, but that's no here nor there. But she cooks fried chicken for me. I know she keeps saying that. It still doesn't taste the same, though. So, but when she does, but I love to do this anyway, not just that. But I will go to her after supper, and I'll say, honey, thanks for cooking supper. So, well, that's kind of a silly thing, is it? No, it's not. Beings to be grateful with each other. You know, I know as a parent, you long for those days when your children get them really grateful of how you raised me. Think about that. You know, because when you're raising them, they're probably not real grateful. I know, you know, we know those ages from about, well, I used to say like 13, but I'm backing that sucker up, you know, to about 8, you know, to 8 to, let's just go ahead and be magnanimous and we'll say 30, okay? 8 to 30, you know. I used to say this to my wife all the time. I said, I'm excited to find that day. Next year I'll be 75. And I said, I'm excited to find that day when I go to lunch with my kids and my kids say, put your wallet away, Dad. Because it's like a standard. I'm with them, so I pay. That's the way it is. I've always paid, so guess what? You just continue to pay. I mean, even if they have more money than you, you still continue to pay, you know? Yeah. So I love it when they say that, and I know Jay's sitting over there, and Jay did buy my lunch not too long ago. Appreciate it, son. Thanks, it made me feel good. Gratitude isn't just a polite Christian thing to do. It's a lifeline. I believe that in our lives. Gratitude is what I call a spiritual reset button in your life. When you begin to understand all that God has done for you, here's what it does. It changes, when you are grateful, it changes your perspective of life. It causes you to be focused on God rather than all the other things around you, on all the stuff or all the problems or other people or even other tasks. You become so focused on those that you forget. Let us not be guilty of forgetting how good God is to us, and show him that. Even with that, and I know we need to be thankful, but I'm going to tell you, I had a hard time writing this one down. Even with that, if I can be honest with you, sometimes thankfulness feels like one more thing on my list to do. Hello? Especially on those tough days, you know, when things are not going right. When your server doesn't get your order right, or they spill your tea, or you got a lot of problems and nobody seems to care how you're feeling.